What's up guys, my name is Ace, and a little while back I made a video sharing the fastest build that you can possibly create in Modern Warfare 3, that was with the Superi 46, and today I wanted to continue that type of series with the fastest possible Strafe build that you can create in the game right now. And this time, instead of just covering one, I'm actually going to be sharing a handful of these setups, but I will be finishing off the video with the absolute fastest that I was able to create in this game. And the primary reason I decided to go with sharing a handful of these setups is it seems likely that some of the best setups in the game, they're just going to end up getting nerfed, and therefore at least I'm providing you with alternatives that will likely still hold true down the road. Now, there are a couple things to keep in mind with this, just in case you guys haven't seen my videos really early on in this life cycle. The first thing to point out is your aim down sight movement speed that's stated in the advanced stats. That's when you're moving forward. That doesn't apply to side-to-side movement, strafing movement. There's actually a roughly 20% slowdown when strafing side-to-side versus moving forward and backward. But throughout the video, just for simplicity so we can actually see it take place in the advanced stats, we're just going to be talking about aim down sight movement speed. And then on top of this, it is worth noting, if you use the Stalker Boots in this game, it will improve your aim down sight movement speed for both strafing and forward and backward movement speed by 17.5%. So I'm going to be stating these standard values, but you can get even better when you add the Stalker Boots on that. And without further ado, let's dive into the Striker. With this particular build, we're capable of getting an aim down sight movement speed of 4.7 meters per second, and surprisingly, this is actually faster than what we're able to achieve with the Striker 9. I would have thought that we'd get a faster movement speed with that gun, but that's not the case. So with this one, we're using the Striker stubby barrel, the Quartermaster suppressor, the XRK Edge BW4 hand stop, the no stock attachments, and the 20 round magazine. Now, this combination of attachments also gives us very, very fast aim down sight and sprint out speeds. Additionally, our base movement speed and sprint movement speed are great. Obviously not quite as great as my builds that I shared last week, because that's where I was really focusing on sprint speeds. But this still allows you to get around the map really quickly, and strafing side to side in a gunfight is going to make you a very hard target to hit. Now, one downside with this, of course, is we are sacrificing in the recoil department. You can see the total magnitude of recoil with just 20 rounds is almost as bad as our 30 round magnitude without any attachments equipped on this gun. So it definitely limits your effectiveness at range when you're using these attachments. And of course, just like with, I believe, every build I share today, we are using the smallest possible magazine, which means we're not going to have the most versatile setups on our hands. This is purely designed to go all the way to the extremes when it comes to strafe speeds. So that's one of the faster setups we can create. However, it also turns out with the AMR9, we can get that same aim down sight movement speed at 4.7 meters per second. And with this one, we're using the Tectonic Herald light barrel. Once again, that Quartermaster suppressor, the FTAC MSP98 hand stop, the 20 round mag, and of course, the Jack Cutthroat stock, which is the best single attachment in the game when it comes to strafe speeds. And with this one, our aim down sight speed isn't crazy fast, but it's not bad at all at 236 milliseconds. It's a similar story with our sprint out time. It's not like a massive standout here, but it's not a bad sprint out time. And then surprisingly, our base movement speed when we're just walking is slightly faster than our sprint speed, which I didn't realize was even possible in this game, but that's an interesting thing to note. However, of course, our tactical sprint out speed will be faster. And this time, we aren't hurting our recoil nearly as much as that previous build. This is definitely a little more manageable, but it does have a pretty big jump after that third shot that you fire. And then finally, like I said, our aim down sight movement speed is going to be the same as the previous build at 4.7 meters per second, and that's before the Stalker Boots. So those are a couple solid choices. Let's move on to the next one on my list here though. And I honestly thought this was going to be the fastest in the game, but it turns out it isn't. This is the Superi 46. With this one, if we use the Zulu OP3 light barrel, the Quartermaster suppressor, the FTAC MSP hand stop, the Jack Cutthroat stock, and the 20 round mag, we get a very, very fast aim down sight movement speed at 5.1 meters per second. That's ridiculous. While also having great handling stats, solid mobility stats across the board, and surprisingly, it's quite accurate. I have no problem controlling the recoil on this particular one. And like I said, I was surprised to find that this isn't actually the fastest possible build in the game. But as far as I can tell, it is the second fastest that you can possibly create. And this is going to make you a very hard target to hit when strafing back and forth, especially when you stack with the Stalker Boots. Now, before we get into the absolute fastest strafing build you can create in the game, so far, all of these are SMGs, and the fastest is, of course, going to be an SMG as well. However, I did want to share at least one assault rifle build that's incredible at strafing, and this is my MTZ Super Strafe build. With this one, we're using the MTZ Para Long Barrel, the XRK Edge hand stop, the 20 round mag, the Rival Ace grip, and the Jack Cutthroat stock. And this gives us really good handling stats, great mobility stats, including, once again, our base movement speed being slightly faster than our sprint speed. The recoil is very manageable. It's got great range profile as well, with it being an assault rifle. And our aim down sight movement speed, while it's not as fast as any of the builds I've shared so far, this is still very respectable for an assault rifle build in this game, and you'll absolutely still be able to take advantage of that in a gunfight. So I really like using this setup, and I just wanted to share it with you guys as well, so you can take advantage of that if you want to branch outside of the SMG category. And with that out of the way, let's now move on to the absolute fastest strafe build that you can create in Modern Warfare 3 right now. And this is, quite surprisingly, the Lachmann Shroud with the Jack Decimator kit, which is the one that converts it to full auto and gives it a really incredible time to kill potential as well. And then we're combining that with the 114mm Dark Star barrel, the XRK Edge handstop, the stockless mod, and the 15-round mag. With this one, our aim down sight and sprint out speeds are like pistol level. They're insanely fast. Our movement speeds are great as well, but our aim down sight movement speed is the real highlight here at 5.2 meters per second. This is actually faster than the sprint speed of a few of the LMGs in this game. That's how fast you're able to strafe with this. However, I do want to be clear, this is far from a versatile build. This is a super specialized build if you just want to mess around and have the fastest possible strafe speed. And the primary reasons for that are, first off, it's only got a 15-round mag with a reasonably high fire rate, so you burn through that mag very, very quickly. You're going to be very hard-pressed to get any more than 2 kills, and honestly, most of the time, you're probably only getting 1 kill per magazine. And then on top of that, the recoil is not good. This is not easy to control. You definitely want to keep yourself very, very close, because you're not going to be able to hit your target very well the moment you start to get to even close to mid-range. So at the end of the day, that one is the absolute fastest, but I've got to say, if you want at least a slight amount of versatility mixed in there while also strafing insanely fast, I do actually prefer that Superi strafe build. It's only very slightly slower than this when it comes to our aim down sight movement speed, and yet we get a 20-round mag and it's significantly more accurate. So as far as performance goes, I would put it as number 1, but technically speaking, it's slightly slower than the Lachmann Shroud. And there we go. That is going to wrap it up for today's video. You might be wondering, what about secondary weapons? They tend to have really good mobility, like better than SMGs. However, the problem with pistols is they don't tend to have a whole lot of attachments, and the attachments are really what allow us to boost these aim down sight movement speed so much, and therefore none of the pistols are capable of getting even close to the level of these SMGs that I shared in today's video. Now with that, I'd like to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First off, were you guys surprised by the results here? Did you think the Lachmann Shroud would be the one that came out on top here? And second, what other types of extreme setups do you want to see me create? I got a bunch of great ideas from the comment section of the previous one, and I've got a few listed down, but if there are any other setups where you want to know what the best possible or even worst possible build is with a particular stat, just let me know down below. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.